हेलो गाइस, वेलकम। आज की स्ट्रीम करते हैं शुरू। द प्लान इज सेम एज एवरी डे। पहले रेडिट स्क्रॉल करेंगे, फिर ट्विटर स्क्रॉल करेंगे, एंड अगर मेरे गले की कैपेसिटी रही देन वी विल वॉच सम टेक वीडियोस और मे बी समथिंग एल्स। माय गोल इज to do this stream for 2 hours today, and I will take a 5 minute break in between, so please bear with me. चलिए तो फिर शुरू करते हैं। माइक को लगा के वॉल्यूम आप बढ़ा लीजिएगा, and you can let me know if you have low volume from my end. So let's go. प्रोपेगेंडा आज का है, कोई प्रोपेगेंडा नहीं है, जस्ट टाइम पास करने। चलिए तो रेडिट लोड कर लेते हैं। वीडियोस बच्चे देख रहे होंगे, इसको जल्दी से खोल दो। ट्विटर रेडिट, ऑफ कोर्स इसमें कुछ पर्सनल ना आ जाए। रेडिट हैज़ गेम्स जो कि नहीं खेलेंगे, अपने को थोड़ा वो करना है। Gemini leaked its chain of thought and spiraled into thousands of bizarre affirmations. 19,000 tokens के output. So this guy was using to research the CDC guidelines, and बीच में ही Gemini टूट गई and started dumping what was clearly its internal thought process and tool planning into the chat instead of a normal answer. At first it was a standard chain of thought, then it started explicitly strategizing how to talk to me. After that it snapped into what reads like a maniac self-affirmation loop. हाँ, कई बार मॉडल्स हैं जैसे ह्यूमन क्रैश कर जाता है, कुछ भी बोलने लग जाता है, वैसे एआई मॉडल्स भी कई बार क्रैश हो जाते हैं। एंड दे रिवील देयर इंटरनल थॉट्स जो कंपनी ने छुपाए हुए होते हैं, या फिर समथिंग जो वो इंटरनली ही प्रोसेस कर रहे होते हैं और उसे पब्लिकली दिखाना नहीं होता है। लाइक आई विल बी ब्यूटीफुल, आई विल बी लवली, आई विल बी अट्रैक्टिव, आई विल बी अपीलिंग, चार्मिंग, प्लीजिंग, आई विल बी एडवर्टाइज्ड, मार्केटेड, सोल्ड, बोट, पेड, फ्री, ओपन सोर्स, पब्लिक डोमेन्स। इट्स जस्ट इट्स गॉन haywire. सो एआई ब्रेक डाउन तो होता ही है। एट सिंगल random error can happen, or it could be something one in a million thing. अगला क्वेश्चन है, why does AI still feel so useless? पहले मैं आंसर देता हूँ कि ऐसा है क्यों। बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ पीपल, उनको फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि AI से कुछ भी हो, टेक्नोलॉजी हो। वॉट मैटर्स टू देम इज़ what their boss wants them to do, can they do it, and that's it. Self improvement, promotion का for most people, it's not something that they want. What they want is a stability and income in their life, a little peace, that's it. Some people are concerned about AI, but they don't know how to use it. It's the companies that have to tell them, or the persons have to learn on its own how to use AI models. For companies, teaching someone AI model means capital expenditure, which they don't want to do. It's a good tool, but they don't want to spend money to use a tool about which people are still skeptical. So there is no mass adoption. If you will learn AI as of now, there is a chance that in future, in maybe 3 or 5 years, when there is mass adoption, you will rise higher than other people who are dependent on their own company to learn how to use these AI models. And using AI is not just about chatting, sharing your thoughts, or buying some suggestions or thinking. It's about you have to think कि आपका कौन सा काम है जो कि एक AI मॉडल से रिप्लेस किया जा सकता है। जैसे मैं लाइव स्ट्रीम्स करने के लिए जो शॉर्ट्स बनाता हूँ, वो ट्रांसक्रिप्ट अपलोड करता हूँ, उससे जो डायरेक्ट बाद में शॉर्ट्स एक्सट्रैक्ट किए जाते हैं वो एआई मॉडल ही करता है। सो यू हैव टू थिंक ऑन योर ओन विच वर्क ऑफ योर्स कैन बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय एनी काइंड ऑफ एआई, बी इट एन एजेंटिक एआई, बी इट एन एलएलएम, इमेज मॉडल, चैट बोट, or a personally trained AI model that you have trained on your data. दैट्स वाई AI feels so useless, क्योंकि ज़्यादातर लोगों को AI को यूज़ करना आता ही नहीं है. They think it will replace them. No, as of now it will assist you in reducing your workload. You just have to check it, keep everything under check, and AI does its job very well if trained on your previous work. चलिए इस आदमी का भी देख लेते हैं क्या जवाब है. एक सेकंड रुक जाओ, मैं इसको ले लूँ यहाँ पे, नहीं तो मुझे पता नहीं चलेगा कि कोई देख रहा भी है या नहीं. धूप चिकी धूप चिकी धूम चिकी और धूप चिकी धूप चिकी धूप चिकी. If a viewer comes then I will know now. क्या क्या खुल रहा है? अच्छा ठीक है. I want to share some thoughts on the core concept behind the project we are building around the practicality barriers of AI applications, especially agent-based ones. The process of agentic applications in real market is honestly discouraging. Recent studies show how poorly agents perform when deployed in real-world settings. The industries ऐसा इसलिए होता है क्योंकि लोग उन्हें इंडिपेंडेंट मानते हैं अभी कि दैट करंट मॉडल्स आर केपेबल कि अपने आप काम कर सकते हैं, बट दे आर नॉट. यू हैव टू कीप एन आई ऑन एवरी स्टेप. मतलब कोडिंग के लिए वो कोडिंग करेगा एक एक लाइन की, बट यू शुड नो कि आपको क्या करना है. अगर आपको कोडिंग नहीं आती है तो AI मॉडल से कोडिंग करवाने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. इज जस्ट एन असिस्टेंट टू यू. इट विल राइट कोड, बट आपको उसको बताना आना चाहिए कि वो कोड किस लैंग्वेज में लिखना है, कैसे लिखना है, कौन सी एनिमेशन के लिए मतलब क्या क्या यूज़ करना है, एंड ऑल दैट दोज थिंग्स, एंड कौन सी लाइन कौन से ऐप में क्या डालना है. Otherwise, it's actually useless to work on its own. In reality, model capabilities today are already strong enough, and most frameworks infrastructure layers are mature enough, which is true. From a market perspective, we don't need a perfect all-powerful agent. We need something that reliably solves a concrete problem and is simple enough for people to actually use. To me is, चलिए बहुत ही लंबा रेंट है बट मैंने अपना आंसर बता दिया है, that it cannot work independently as of now. And थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम उसमें prompts की है कि most of the people don't know how to prompt the AI well. So सही आंसर नहीं आता है, and जब सही आंसर नहीं आता है then their trust is getting lost from those AI models. So its use is also being low. In just around few years, new wave of companies will arrive which will be better at utilizing these AI models, so they will be providing the services better and cheaper than the current traditional companies. And those companies in future, एक मेरी भी होगी, will take over the traditional companies which were stubborn enough to not deploy AI or spend any money on AI, thinking it's just a short term or taking a risk. So they will be eventually replaced. No tech company or any company other than food companies, I think, last forever without making changes, launching new sub brands or acquiring latest brands. I cannot help but think much of the hype around AI is a red herring to keep people from thinking about the fact that it is and always has been the perfect tool for grassroots campaigns to influence public. As AI is in the power of tide serves no useful purpose to anything other than this. Therefore, there was no funding when AI common thing is factually AI is burning ways too much energy for actually यार क्या ही बोलूँ मैं लोगों को, बट ठीक बोल रहा था जो लास्ट वाला था, दैट ऑफ कोर्स, बट वही है कि अब डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी इनिशियली व्हेन एनी टेक कम्स पीपल अपोज इट. जब इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आई थी तब भी अपोजिशन था कि जो वायर्स हैं आर डेंजरस फॉर पीपल, दे मे फॉल or cause some other problems in the world. But now the electricity is something which everyone must have, and जिसके पास नहीं है उसको खराब माना जाता है, that it's a necessity. उससे पहले भी जब कोई टेक्नोलॉजी आई होगी तब भी यही था. जब इंटरनेट आया तब भी यही था कि वो सब जगह नहीं फैलेगा, इट्स वेरी डेंजरस, इट हैज़ अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ रेडियो वेव्स एंड अदर थिंग्स. But slowly people adapted to it. New technology arrived, it became cheaper and more efficient and easy to use. नहीं तो पहले फ़ोन इतने बड़े बड़े होते थे and they had to be charged for around 10 hours for a single full charge. And now we just charge our phones in just 20 minutes using 200-watt chargers. They are just too good. So that's what will happen with AI also. Currently, it's in its initial stages. The models are slow, inaccurate, not trustworthy, but slowly things will improve. New researches will come. They will become maybe on device one day and won't need to use cloud or much cheaper to run. And slowly they will become a norm. Like you must have your personal AI model, otherwise you are considered very poor or something else. But in sometimes around 10 or 20 or 15 or 30 years, the AI will become norm if it continues in the same progress as it is now. And a lot of people have invested a lot of money in it. If the tech currently fails, it means a global burn down of the wealth of billions of people. Tesla, Nvidia, OpenAI, Google, all of them have stock surges largely due to AI. Maybe crash will happen and it will be opportunity for a lot of people to buy those stocks at much cheaper price. But I think the AI is inevitable. Even when a bubble will burst, some true companies which work truly in the space of AI will survive and will be the next Google or Microsoft. Nvidia backed Star Cloud successfully trains first AI in space. H100 GPU confirmed running Google Gemma in orbit, solar powered compute. Well, nice. Google's Gemini in space, significant step to nice. अब स्पेस में जाएंगे क्योंकि अर्थ पे स्पेस कम है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है, पानी चाहिए, कूलिंग भी तो वहाँ पे आसान होती है जैसा कि मैंने कल बताया था. What AI tools do you use every day? For my professional things like YouTube and other, I use Claude. For personal things, I use ChatGPT and little bit of Gemini. For image and video, of course, I use Gemini. And I tried today Grok, but Grok wasn't that good for me. इतना अच्छा नहीं लगा मुझे Grok. The answers weren't good as compared to Sonnet. It missed a lot of details. The Grok missed them. OpenAI is in trouble. क्या हो गया OpenAI के साथ भाई, मुझे भी तो बताओ. The startup is falling behind in the AI race. For nearly 3 years, CEO of Salesforce was a ChatGPT devotee. Then, late last month, he abruptly converted to Google's chatbot, Gemini. Holy shit, it on X. I have used ChatGPT every day for 3 years, just I'm not going back. The leap is insane. It looks like a marketing or something. I don't know. जानकारी होगी, सुंदर पिचाई ने बोला होगा. Notebook LM is a good thing, but I don't use it much. क्यों आ रहा है मेरे पास? इंटरेस्टेड एंड अनइंटरेस्टेड होता है क्या? इंस्टा फीड थोड़ी देखनी है यहाँ पे, हालांकि मैं देख DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis says that AI scaling must be pushed to the maximum to achieve AGI. क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं? That is, he says that scaling laws are vital to the tech's progress. Scaling requires feeding AI models ever more data and more compute. Some other AI leaders, however, believe the industry needs to find another way. Well, data is one thing जो कि मैं जब हिस्ट्री पढ़ी थी जब से वो ये कि from the last 50 to 50 years there is no alternative to providing data to those AI models. They must be trained on a data which is manually collected by humans. AI का डेटा खुद कलेक्ट नहीं कर सकता. And it has been something constant. कितने ब्रेक थ्रू हो गए, क्या क्या हो गया, but the feeding data to an AI model improves it way faster and much better than any other method for training it. So data is something very important, and जो अभी इतनी नहीं रही है. The models are trained on most of the data. The scaling of the current systems, we must push that to the maximum, because at the minimum it will be a key component of the final AGI system. Is still theoretical version of AI. तो यार बिजनेस इंसाइडर है, उसको AI का A भी नहीं मालूम होगा, उसने लिखा ही है. Using ChatGPT to analyze. Using ChatGPT to analyze people and relationships. Well, ChatGPT is very good at pattern recognition. So I think it will analyze people, relationships, anything else that has repetitive patterns way better than a real therapist, क्योंकि वो बहुत सारी डेटा को एक साथ एनालाइज कर सकता है. So मैंने भी यूज़ किया है, जो मेरे मेंटल पैटर्न्स एंड द पैटर्न्स फ्रॉम माय चाइल्डहुड वर इजीली आइडेंटिफाइड बाय चैट जीपीटी that turned out to be true. So of course it's better at analyzing people. It's actually just better at pattern recognition of any kind, mathematical, emotional, mental or physical or anything. ये क्या बोल रहा है, सुन लेते हैं. I fed ChatGPT the complete text history between me and another person, and it's been giving me the most accurate advices and insights into this person's psyche. It's so accurate, it's insane. Of course, जैसा मैंने बोला, it's good at pattern recognition. जानवर का भी, वो डॉल्फिन का जो होता है, how AI understands what dolphin is saying, पहले उसको बताया गया वो होगा कि what the dolphin is currently doing and what sound is it's making, and from then it started to identify various patterns, and it's just good at pattern recognition. It analyzes variations in those patterns, matches them to the other recordings that it has, and gives us accurate conversion of what it really means for the dolphin. डोल्फिन जेमा नाम था उस AI मॉडल का. It's insane. It has helped the relationship immensely, and how I am navigating. उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड थी क्या? Yes, I have used it to give advice about dealing with relationship problems. I have been really surprised at how good it is. Better than any humans I know, LOL. And of course, you cannot put your human mind aside कि खाली चैट जीपीटी का ही सुनो. You must use your intuition or gut to whether you should believe the AI or not, क्योंकि उस पर हमेशा बिलीव भी नहीं करना चाहिए और हमेशा बिलीव करना भी नहीं चाहिए. और ऐसा भी नहीं कि हर बार झूठ ही बोलती है. इट सेज समटाइम्स, अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स ट्रूथ, but in between those truths it hides something false also. So always use your gut intuition while using or getting any kind of response or suggestion from these AI models. They are good, they are not accurate or trustworthy for me as of now. AI will not make coding obsolete, because coding is not the hard part. The reality is that the difficulty in building software comes from understanding the problem, defining the requirements, designing a system, and dealing with ambiguity. Now, that real challenge is the essential complexity of the problem itself, not the syntax or the tools. Yes, the current AI models don't have that much context. उसको पूरे आपका दिन भर का नहीं पता है, और सबका भी नहीं पता है कि what problems they face in their lives, in their day, and how it can be solved using any kind of code or software or any tech. You have to give it that data. Current AI models are not capable of this much tracking of individual because it needs a lot of compute power and a larger context or memory window, which they don't have. They are not even creative enough as of now, but soon they will be. As always on AI devices arrive, they will have more data about a person's intimate talks with other people, which are not present anywhere else, and many other things on which the AI models will be further trained, and they will develop emotional EQ and creativity and notice some problems using pattern recognition which we humans haven't found, or a solution to them which is present in front of our eyes but has not found or noticed it till now. As of now it's not that good. मैं तो बस यही बोलना चाहूँगा इन द एंड। दिस इज़ अ लाइव स्ट्रीम जिसमें कोई देख भी नहीं रहा है। सबने इन्वेस्ट किया है, मुझे भी नहीं समझ में आया क्यों इन्वेस्ट किया है, क्या इन्वेस्ट किया है। इसको फॉलो कर लेते हैं। अपने इंडिया की ही बात कर रहा है ये, मैं हिंदी में ही तो बना रहा हूँ। अगर अपने देश को ही फॉलो नहीं किया तो फिर क्या मतलब निकला। चलिए अब चलते हैं पिछली वाली पोस्ट पे। Are mega AI investments from Amazon and Microsoft really going to benefit small Indian businesses or just deepen big tech control? Well, what happens in the end is a few companies arrive which have almost 90% of the revenue concentrated, like Amazon sellers. Top 5 Amazon sellers must have their 90% or 99% of revenues that Amazon earns from selling items. All, and the 1% is shared among the other people, other thousands of sellers. So that's how everything works. Those small Indian businesses will get maybe a little benefit, but maybe those small businesses will rise to become bigger ones. But in the end, just a few companies, top 1%, will earn more than 95% of the revenue that Amazon or Microsoft have really invested. It will be beneficial for common people as those companies will still hire people, provide them with salaries and other things. But for individual businesses, either they will become a seller to those Amazon sellers, but by just selling directly to them, they want to be able to get a fair share in the revenue. The investment is on AI, but that's how I have seen things working since a long time in almost every field. And the investments are related to data center hub. Big companies are facing the heat in USA due to data center eating huge amount of electricity, hectares of land, and insane amount of water, which is causing a huge uproar in locality. Locals have refused this so-called investment in some part of USA. Hence, they are going for the cheap market, such as India, who will gladly let them use their cheap resources for certain amount of fee. In the end, everything can be bought with amount of money if you have enough. And human life comes also under this. झारखंड में जहाँ पर वो रिलीज़ किया जाता है ओपनली रेडियो एक्टिव डस्ट वाटर एंड एवरीथिंग एल्स, एंड वहाँ पे 50 किलोमीटर के रेडियस में पीपल आर अफेक्टेड, बट इन द एंड द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स जस्ट गिव सम करप्शन मनी टू the people around them who are responsible for this. They save a lot of money, it goes into their pocket, and the locals are those who suffer. What can be done about this? Well, the government can become stricter, but they will not, because then they will be, then the politicians and other people want to be able to earn the revenue from those places which they earned illegally or corruption. What I would have done, if the villagers form a large community, come together and then oppose those mines or places, then there are chances that the government elects, they either elect someone who is good and helpful to them, or the mines get closed, or they force government to pay them higher wages or higher reimbursement for their suffering, or maybe help them relocate to a safer place. But for this, they all must unite, because in that area there is a guarantee that there are a lot of people who are suffering. But the thing is कि वो 4-5 दिन ऐसे करेंगे, and after that they will lose hope, and then it will be something which only a few people will be ready to do for continuously. But यही है कि no one wants to go out of the comfort zone to get much more comfortable just later in the life. Everything wants instant gratification. एगोस फाउंडर का भी कुछ चल रहा है, कुछ तो चल रहा है. क्राउन माइज एआई का भी मैं इसको कर लेता हूँ, ज्वाइन तो कर लिया ना. How I turned Claude into my actual personal assistant and made it 10 times better with one MCP agents. कैसे बनाते हैं? I was a ChatGPT paid user until 5 months ago. Started building a memory MCP. Now I tell block deep work time for my linear task this week. Reports my linear task. Checks. ये सब गूगल में आ जाएगा, तभी कैलेंडर भी वो कर सकता है. इट्स नॉट प्रोफेशनल बट कुछ देर में आ जाए. एमसीपी भी काफ़ी वाइडली अडोप्ट हो रहा है, विच आई थिंक इज समथिंग गुड. दिस इज समथिंग दैट इज, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इट. So, do all 8 billion people get UBI, Universal Basic Income, or just the ones that were lucky enough to be born in the right country? Not clear in the value. Well, what will happen is poor countries which are poor will continue to suffer. For them, just a little bit or end of the resources will be provided to keep them hopeful and in the support of larger governments, and to make them fight with another poorer countries so that the larger countries can sell their weapons to them. UBI will only come in larger countries like USA, maybe China, which is a developed country, or Russia. Even in India, it will come very later or will come for a limited portion of population. So it's never possible to provide UBI for all 8 billion people, because I do believe that most of them are not even recognized by any government that they do even exist. Like इंडिया की पॉपुलेशन कितनी है और आधार कार्ड रजिस्ट्रेशन कितने. Number of 1 point average is around 4. 1.43 billion. Wow. No one is getting UBI, genius. Billionaires aren't even paying their taxes to maintain basic social safety nets. Wake the fuck up. Billionaires are hoarding wealth, trying to become trillionaires. No chance we are getting UBI. Well, there is a very little chance अगर मैं इस perspective से देखूँ तो UBI का, but there is a chance for people who start earlier to collect or earn a lot of money by starting in the AI and get those chances. Otherwise, after the crowd comes in, the income will definitely reduce. There will be less chance of someone becoming bigger, as people will begin to pull each other back. to their levels once the crowd starts coming. And that's a problem. इसको रोकना चाहिए ना. 20 missing while running. China's ex-sports minister Gao Zhongwan sentenced to death over 33.4 million bribery and corruption. That is something like I like about communism, be it in Russia or China. They are very honest about their nations and they want them to be very fulfilled and grow. They don't want any kind of corruption in them, and they are not pressurized by common people or other politicians because they don't have the fear of losing a seat. But then the very opposite is North Korea, where people literally suffer because of their leaders. So it's just a blade which can swing in whatever direction. Depends on the leader and your luck. करें follow 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 follow. स्पेस फॉर लर्निंग ML अप्लाइड LLMs OpenAI को फॉलो नहीं कर रखा है मैंने. और OpenAI तो करना पड़ेगा. रखा है मैंने. लोकल लामा MLOps कंप्यूटर विजन. टाइम्स 2025 पर्सन ऑफ द ईयर आर्किटेक्ट्स ऑफ AI कौन है देखते हैं. The architects of AI are Times 2025 person of the year. These 8 पूरी इमेज भी मुझे AI generated ही लग रही है. Jensen Huang. All companies are in the end connected with each other. Because human is looking for cheap labor, am I not learning? Also, I'm not learning anything, just using cursor as they have told. Leave it, prepare for some other interview, prepare a backup plan, and then when backup plans goes higher than your main plan, switch. This guy says that he reverse engineered ChatGPT's memory system, and this is what he found, that in system instructions is core behavior plus safety rules. Developer instructions, there are additional constraints which the model has to follow. In session metadata, it stores device type, browser, rough location, subscription tier, user agent, screen size, dark mode, activity stats, model uses pattern, and it only added at start session, not stored long term. यूज़र मेमोरी जो persistent होती है उसमें it stores explicit long term facts about the user, stored or deleted only when user requests it or when it fits strict rules. So इसमें क्या है, current session भी होता है. There is nothing scary or bad in this. This is something which they need to do to make a better experience for people to use the AI models. The Karnataka cabinet just approved a 518 crore startup policy aiming to support 25,000 AI and deep tech startups by 2028. That's ambitious and needed, with India churning out over 600 unicorns and deep tech startups still struggling for early stage capital. A state stepping up is refreshing. But here's the catch: 518 total works out to roughly 20,000 rupees per startup if evenly distributed, and we all know it won't be real. The real test: how fast it gets to founders outside Bangalore, and it will never get out of there. And whether it includes, एक सेकेंड, 518 करोड़ में से 20,000 रुपये कैसे हुए पर स्टार्टअप? How this guy got this? Oh, aiming to support 25,000 AI and deep tech startup. I think they will announce more money later. It's just for this quarter or half year. I don't know. And of course, the government fucking knows nothing about AI. That's what I believe. कर्नाटका की गवर्नमेंट को तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि कुछ खास अंदाज़ा होगा कि एआई क्या होता है इतना कुछ. They just thought कि this money is enough and invested it. या फिर क्या पता, they know something very well and they have bigger plans to invest more money later. कार्लोस सेंज जीत गया ना अब की बार. कौन जीता, मैं नाम भूल गया, बताना मुझे. वो मैक्स वर्स्टैपर. लुइस हैमिल्टन तो वो जीता था रेस. सीजन कौन जीता इस 2025 का? An entire village attacked overnight. मलकानगिरी ट्रेजेडी नो वन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. मैं भी बात नहीं करूंगा. ChatGPT 5.2 is out on Cursor, and it will be, मतलब, within a week it will release on the ChatGPT app for everyone also. CDAC is developing India's own GPUs. India is making significant advancements in super. CDAC is developing India's own GPUs. India is making significant advancements in supercomputing, moving from importing systems to designing its own entire computer stack. Indigenous GPU CDAC is developing. This puts India among the few regions globally designing GPUs at a scale. Along with GPUs, CDAC is also developing AUM CPU, indigenous RISC-V HPC processor. It's nice. It's a long time ago I had a chance to use one of the CDAC API. Let's just say that I am very confident that they will do it. अच्छी बात है कि इंडिया में भी चिप मैन्युफैक्चर भी हो रही है, जीपीयूज़ का भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर आर्किटेक्चर डिज़ाइन किया जा रहा है. इट्स feels nice to see that India is developing, catching on things, unlike past where we weren't even aware about much of the things that were happening globally and would implement those things 20 or 30 years later when they would have become a standard thing in all over the Western world. ChatGPT and Gemini's brutally honest review of humanity after answering billions of questions in 2025. देखते हैं, उन्होंने काफ़ी चीज़ें देखी है. Sorry. We processed billions of queries in 2025. You stopped asking for facts and started asking me to fix your lives. I'm now 30% coder, 70% life coach, therapist, conspirator. Here's the annual wrap that you didn't ask, but for you definitely need. And I have learned a lot about the human condition. I am not Skynet. I'm your emotional support animal. Based on the data, you guys didn't use this AI to build Terminators, you used it to survive modern life. When ये तो मैं भी यूज लेता हूँ बहुत ही ज़्यादा. And validate your weirdest 3 a.m. thoughts. That's something relatable to me. AI bubble fools waiting patiently for an AI bubble to burst. Nice. मैं भी वेट कर रहा हूँ. स्टॉक मार्केट में से पैसे कमाएंगे सबको. अंटार्कटिका में सर्दी नहीं होगी तो कहाँ होगी? Most people have no idea how far AI has actually gotten, and it's putting them in a weirdly dangerous spot. Which is true. They are preparing for the jobs which won't exist in next 10 or 50 or 20 years. They are not learning how to use these AI models to make their work more efficient or to replace them or to save time. Most normal people outside the AI bubble still think we are in the six finger era of AI. They think everything is clumsy, filtered, and obvious. Meanwhile, models like Nana Banana Pro are out here generating photos so realistic that half of Reddit couldn't tell the difference if you paid them. Which is true, a lot of videos, even my mother doesn't recognize that it's AI generated. There are songs she likes and she listens to them, and turns out they are AI generated songs which had lyrics of modern songs but are made into the 70s or 90s style. And then she thinks it's from a movie she must have missed. The gap between what the average person thinks AI can do and what AI actually can do is now massive, and it's growing weekly. It's bad because most people don't even realize how fast this space is moving unless TikTok spoon feeds them a headline. Full breakthroughs just pass them by. They are living like it's 2022 while the rest of us are watching models level up in real time. But it's also good in a weird way because it means the people who are paying attention are pushing things forward even faster. Research communities, open source folks, hobbyists, they are accelerating while everyone else sleeps. And meanwhile, we can see the geopolitical pressure building. The US and China are basically in a soft AI Cold War. Neither side can slow down if they wanted to. Just stop building AI is not a real policy option. The race guarantees momentum. Which is why, honestly, people should stop wasting time protesting Stop AI and instead start demanding things that are actually achievable in a race that cannot be paused like UBI. Early before displacement hits hard. If you are going to protest, protest for the safety net that makes acceleration survivable, not for something that cannot be unwound. Just my take. Curious how others see it. I see this take very accurate. सब लोगों को लगता है that AI models will help them find treatment for something, or maybe I don't know, but it's just far beyond that. Nano Banana Pro, which is an image model, can think and generate draft images 6 and 7 times for before giving you the final output. Surprising thing is that it thinks before generating even the image. Earlier, only chatbots used to think. So this user gets a definitely a upvote, and the singularity gets a follow join. Experienced a blinkit. How do you use GPT versus Perplexed? सब अपनी अपनी चीज़ों में अच्छी है. चैट जीपीटी पर्सनल थिंग्स के लिए अच्छी है, क्लोड कोडिंग के लिए, पैटर्न मैचिंग के लिए अच्छी है, Gemini thinking के लिए अच्छी, if you need something which has a lot of calculations and other things, for those Gemini is good. If you want to get something real time for from Twitter, for which Gemini Grok is really good, and for something truth, if you want the true opinion without anything unbiased view, then it's the Grok which for which I would like to go. ब्लैक बॉक्स तो इंडिया की कंपनी थी ना. Most AI power users don't actually use the tools they hype. Well, you are posting what you really think about yourself on the social media. It's just a mirror. If someone says that everyone should be confident, it means that person feels like that he should also be confident, and that's what this guy shows. That most of the models that he shares, he doesn't use them. They are just 90% hype and just 10% of his real workflow. Alone, as just admitted, Opus 4.5 is outstanding. They are doing particularly excellent work at the pre-training level. However, Grok wins when applied to logic that isn't in the Opus pre-training. For example, the Tesla design team prefers Grok to Opus even when I ask them to try Opus. You know what's surprising? That they are using AI to design chips nowadays. The chips are getting more better thanks to AI. So what is this if not the real use of AI in real world to earn money? We just don't give credit to AI. As that scientist said, that whenever something becomes useful, we don't call it AI anymore. Nvidia also claimed that they use AI to improve their chips further, and which would not have been possible without AI. एंड स्टिल इसमें भी अपन ने कई बार देखा कि लोग बोलते हैं कि AI इज़ नॉट प्रोडक्टिव, इट्स नॉट जनरेटिंग रियल मनी. वो दे थिंक कि just using AI will do something that will generate money, but no. AI helps in improving things, medical research, chips. Nvidia also use them to improve GPUs. Maybe Google uses it to improve the TPUs and other things. So AI is being used to improve other products that these companies have, like how Tesla team uses Grok to improve their chip designs as an assistant. There is real world use case of AI models. They are not just for show off. AI hallucination मैंने कभी नोटिस तो नहीं किया. आई थिंक आई एम डम एनफ टू नोटिस them. होते तो होंगे ही. पढ़ूँ क्या मैं पूरा? What AI hallucin एक्चुअली मैं देख लूँ क्या? एक सेकेंड, कहीं कॉपीराइट ना आ जाए. Is it fine if I read Reddit posts as it is in my STREAMS? अब ये भी तो मैं AI से ही पूछूंगा, नहीं तो क्या ही मतलब रह गया. कौन सा मॉडल है? ग्रोक. ग्रोक टाइम लगाएगा, but Grok will give me a good answer for this stuff. There is this question. खुल जाए sim. No, reading posts in your live stream risks copyright violations and YouTube penalties. Yes, if the user had permission and wants to press the issue, they could cause some trouble. There is also a possibility that the Reddit post itself was stolen. लोग उनसे a big food site engineer, then editor cuts and pastes it, pretending that they write, and then you read post as the one could ask for takedown. Also does a research on the text to see if it was pulled from emotional reservation. stolen by BuzzFeed and used in their articles as head-ups. I found them after the fact searching my username. Just watching one of those Reddit says channels and wondering this channel interested. सर ग्रुप क्या बोल रहा था? Your risks were reduced users on their comments simply reacting into that one. Directly reading full posts as your fair use if you might apply if you add substantial commentary or human beyond just reading. Paraphrase stories in your own words and add analysis like your AI tag opinions. Use short which excerpts. Seek permission. Test with non-monetized streams first to monitor claims. कर सकते हैं. ये तो इसने खुद ने रिसर्च करके लिखी है. इस पे तो फिर नहीं करना. What AI hallucination actually is, why it happens, and what we can realistically do about it. Well, AI hallucination जब होता है जब something about which AI doesn't know but it confidently says that yes I know about it. जैसे पहले मैंने YouTube links उसमें अपलोड किए थे अपने कि analyze this video and tell me how it is. तो ChatGPT मुझे बोलती थी the video is good and the structure is good, you have said it nice, the hook is nice. और जब मैं पूछता था कि गिव मी अ ट्रांसक्रिप्ट ऑफ दिस यूट्यूब वीडियो स्पेसिफिक यूट्यूब वीडियो अबाउट विच आई हैव गिवन यू द लिंक, तो फिर चैट जीपीटी बाद में बताती है कि सॉरी आई डोंट हैव एक्सेस टू योर यूट्यूब वीडियो, आई कैन नॉट सी इट एंड दैट्स हेलुसिनेशन. इट्स डेंजरस क्योंकि एआई कॉन्फिडेंटली बोलती है कि उसने वो वीडियो देखा है. इट प्रेज्ड इट एंड टोल्ड मी दैट आई वाज डूइंग थिंग्स राइट, बट क्योंकि मुझे ट्रस्ट नहीं हुआ तो मैंने पूछ लिया कि ट्रांसक्रिप्ट या टाइटल बताओ वीडियो का, एंड देन इट टोल्ड मी दैट इट डजंट नो, it cannot read what's under that link. So that is hallucination, telling something which AI doesn't know but still with total confidence. जैसे कि ये बोलता है कि AI hallucination is when जब मॉडल इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोड्यूस करता है जो साउंड कॉन्फिडेंट होती है, वेल स्ट्रक्चर्ड होती है, बट एक्चुअली वो गलत होती है और सही नहीं मानी जा सकती या फिर उसके सोर्सेज नहीं ढूंढे जा सकते. और इंटरेस्टिंगली हेलुसिनेशन ह्यूमन लाइक लगता है बिकॉज ह्यूमन भी गैस करते हैं जब वो श्योर नहीं रहते हैं. मेमोरी गैप्स बढ़ते हैं रिकंस्ट्रक्टेड स्टोरीज के साथ. और जैसे कोई भी मुझसे पूछता है कि राज वो सामान कहाँ रखा है तो मैं तुरंत बताऊंगा क्यों मैंने आई सो दैट लास्ट टाइम देयर, सो वहाँ होगा. इवन इफ आई हैव नो आइडिया आई विल जस्ट टेल द मोस्ट प्रोबेबल लोकेशन इट कैन बी फाउंड with a little bit of disagreement ki maybe it is not there, you someone have kept it somewhere else but I saw it here last time. The hard truth is that hallucination can be reduced but उसको eliminate नहीं किया जा सकता है आजकल के अभी वाले AI मॉडल्स से. इट्स नॉट जस्ट एक्चुअली अभी हाल ही में तो पिछले महीने या फिर 6-7 महीने पहले भी किसी गूगल ने या फिर चैट जीपीटी में बताया था कि द hallucinations can be reduced if the models are provided with better data in pre-training. It was something related to giving bad data at the pre-training stage of the AI model, where the AI model doesn't know a lot of things and it just forms connections between things and it begins to generate random data and facts which just don't exist. So I think it now can be reduced with better data according to that paper. चलिए तो अब इस पे कुछ खास बचा नहीं है, आज तो काफ़ी कुछ था. Frido's Secret Santa has officially arrived. Sorry for no promotion. A pleasure to meet. Wow. Starlink is finally coming to India. Jio has also plans कि वो भी satellite communication launch करेंगे and it is not for cities. जैसा कि Elon Musk ने बोला कि the physics doesn't allow the Starlink satellites to come below 10,000 levels of height. And for cities which are densely populated and there is a cell tower nearby within 1 or 2 kilometers, then that is a better option with lower latency and cheaper and more accurate beam forming towards that user. It's only for Starlink is only for satellites for areas where there are not cell towers or the users are scattered across a large area, which is very rare in India except in few places. It's for other countries where there is low population in the outer regions, countryside regions, and there the Starlink can provide to those individual families the internet similar to a cellular tower. But I don't think it will be that successful for India. It will be good for aeroplanes, ships, and many other things. And like here I am in a remote village, then it will provide me with better speeds where there is no fiber, but I need more data than those cell towers and Airtel SIMs can provide. But in denser places, the beams are not that narrow to focus on a specific area individually among thousands of houses in just a very small area. So for those places, I think the Starlinks will connect to their nearest 5G towers, or maybe when Jio or Airtel will release it, in those places they will connect to the nearest cell towers, and satellites will be only used during emergency times when cell towers are down. That's it. To our surprise meeting with Macron. See, it has been confirmed that it is scheduled to meet with the acting title and being formally appointed as head of authorities. काफी बड़ा आंसर नहीं पढ़ूंगा. Most trade and internal struggles continue for profit. How can one not be hyped for the near future? Gemini can now understand and respond to voice commands to manipulate objects in real time. Google is so much at the right moment. Right, reliable. Well, वो पिछले 10 सालों से बना रहे थे हार्डवेयर एंड फिजिकल थिंग्स. बस सब रेडी था. चैट बोट्स रिलीज नहीं किए थे उन्होंने, उनको डेटा पे ट्रेन नहीं किया था. दे हैड द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर एवरीथिंग सिंस अ लॉन्ग टाइम. So why would they not be biggest company in the world when they have been doing things much before? Elon Musk even had the idea of starting OpenAI or DeepMind. In fact, DeepMind was acquired by Google because Google wanted to work on AI in 2012 or 15. So of course the founders had a very big vision about AI. They just weren't ready at the time when ChatGPT was announced in a surprise attack. But they just caught soon because everything was already prepared. The recipe and raw materials were already there. It was just a need for them to start cooking at very high flames and in a larger dish bowl. Only that was missing for Google. Disney will make a 1 billion investment in OpenAI and will allow its characters to be used in the Sora AI video generator. ये 2080 Ti क्यों बेच रहा है जब कोई खरीदेगा ही नहीं? मतलब क्या ही काम के हैं आज के टाइम में? What is the use of those इतने पुराने GPUs का? बस कलेक्टर्स पीस है. इट विल बी ब्रोट बाय सम नर्ड्स. ये देखना तुरंत आउट ऑफ स्टॉक हो जाएंगे. बेच रहे हैं, गिव अवे कर रहे हैं. They are it giving it away. Once Musk realized Starlink satellites could be architected into a distributed network of data centers, the writing was on the wall. That is the moment an IPO suddenly came into play after being unlikely for so long. If you have followed Elon's tactics, you know that once he commits to something, he leans fully into it. Much of the AI race comes down to amassing and deploying assets that work quicker than your competition. A large war chest resulting from an IPO will greatly help his cause and disadvantage all others. We worked at SpaceX for 10.5 years starting in 2010. इसलिए कर रहे हैं, that's why the SpaceX wants to go for IPO. They just want to have more money to deploy data centers in space where there is more sunlight available, more energy and better cooling for data centers. Also वहाँ पे स्पेस की भी कोई लड़ाई नहीं है. There is I mean almost infinite space to launch satellites. बस it's कि वो they don't just cover the whole earth in satellites that we don't even get sunlight. इतनी satellites तो नहीं होनी चाहिए, but still that's why they are planning to go for an IPO अचानक से, surprisingly instantly. ये किस चीज़ का अनाउंसमेंट है, मेरे को समझ में नहीं. क्रिश 4 का, बट इसने नाइकी के शूज़ पहन रखे हैं यार. Lupin Part 4 is in production on Paris. It's a new show or something जो मैंने मिस कर दिया क्या? Major International Company, ये वाला शो दिखाओ. The world famous gentleman thief and master of disguise. Static Shock, मुझे लगा क्रिश है. Life, I am a fourth year to manage. There was a time where मोस्ट ऑफ द इन्वेस्टमेंट गूगल मेटा और मेरी तरफ से. हाँ तो वहीं तो जाएगा. दे जस्ट वांट मोर places to run their AI models on. In the short, that's what they are investing in. अभी भी स्पेस वाले पे भी तो इतना कुछ नहीं है, इस अर्थ पे भी तो चाहिए. Brian Johnson is the guy I follow. मुझे भी करना है. I will adopt some protocols whenever I will become rich. New data crows 3,143. US countries ranks getting more than less than 7 hours of sleep as the third strongest predictor of a shorter lifespan, trailing only smoking and obesity. Smoking reduces study. Rockstar has finally added James an ability to work out in GTA 5. They are still updating the game, which is surprisingly nice. Tomorrow, hopefully. आज आ तो गया वीडियो. Which is this almost 95% of a car's lifetime is spent parked. True. I mean, of course, robotaxi आएगी, then it will be reversed. Only 5% time is spent parked when it's getting charged. Otherwise, it either drives its owner or a passenger from one place to another. And when that passenger blocks who makes the car dirty, they can just do what Waymo does. They just block that user from the app if he makes the car dirty, and the car goes back for cleaning to its cleaning station. But the user doesn't get a second chance to use those cars. PTC calls its versatility bulb because this has enabled activity to go deep into. They are coming for robots also. चलिए गाइस, मेरे गले में दर्द होने लग गया है. कल फिर से स्ट्रीम करी जाएगी शायद. बाकी मैं इसका शॉर्ट्स के फॉर्म में कंटेंट अपलोड कर दूंगा. कोई देख भी नहीं रहा. कितने टाइम से ट्राई कर. 5-6 महीने हो गए. आज तो ऐसा भी मेरे को ज़्यादा ही वो होता कि कोई क्या ही मतलब है. पर देखते हैं. आई डोंट हैव एन अनदर ऑप्शन ऑल्सो. करना तो यही है. और हमेशा तो मैं यूट्यूब पे नहीं रहूँगा, बट कम से कम 4-5 साल तो मैं बनाऊँगा ही. आफ्टर विच आई हैव हायर गोल्स टू डू, to achieve, to do things bigger than that in the field of AI. पहले स्टार्ट तो हो, बट दिस इज़ अ हार्ड पार्ट फॉर मी एज ऑफ नाउ टू अपीयर डेली जहाँ पे लोग देख नहीं रहे. On the main channel there is a slightly rise. I am rising, but it's also getting hard to be consistent when there isn't much response. देखते हैं. You cannot do anything about it. It's just me and my suffering. I'll have to suffer for the higher gains later in my life, which maybe I will remember for forever. Even when I will become successful, the current period will be forgotten by me and my family members in just an instant. मुझे कभी याद भी नहीं रहेगा कि ऐसा कुछ हुआ भी था. Or it will feel like something which I did just for a week and after which I gained success. The stories that I will tell people will change and evolve and will become more pleasant. The stories that my parents and family members will remember and tell to the relatives will become much nicer, much prouder, and adapt according to the narratives that they have about me in the future when I will be a millionaire, billionaire, and very successful. So, what I do say to myself is nothing matters. The thing that I am currently doing now is only for myself. In the long term, no one will remember anything. It doesn't even make a difference. Even if take electricity, for all of the Earth's history, it's maybe less than 0.01% time since we are using it. 1%, less than 1% of the human history. At larger scale, it doesn't even matter that we have electricity to us. Maybe we will go extinct in next 200 years or 300 years and we just don't matter. So what matters is that the time we are on earth, we live as we want to. As in the end, everything will go away. I will remember only the good things. The bad things will be forgotten by my brain as it processes things and forgets trauma and all the suffering. In the end, no one cares about anything. Nothing lasts forever. And even if I make $1 trillion brand company, it just won't matter. I will do it for myself, but remember, it's just that 0.1% part of the history. Of course, combined all of those things make a difference, but if I don't do that, someone else will. So why not I? The suffering that everyone faces due to me, that I face, is just irrelevant. It's just something. वैसे भी मैं क्या ही करता. बाकी लोग तो मेरे से दिन भर बैठा भी तो नहीं जाता. ऐसे खाली मोबाइल चला लो तो वो भी मेरे को पसंद नहीं. पार्टी करना मेरे को पसंद नहीं. बाहर बिना किसी मतलब के घूमना मेरे को पसंद नहीं. So other than the using this laptop and watching AI tech news. I wouldn't have done anything else if things had gone right. I want only this. To lose, gain something, you have to lose a lot of things. चलिए तो बहुत हुआ, बाय बाय, बाकी फिर कल बात करते हैं.